Well, welcome back again. Totally different project on the bench at the moment. As you can see, this is a Sarissa precision building. This is the Haye Sainte farmhouse from Battle of Waterloo. And it's from the artillery Battle of Waterloo. What is it actually called? Let me just check. It's called Haye Sainte Waterloo 1815. Here's the leaflet for it. Haye Sainte Waterloo 1815. Battle set. Artillery. Here's some words about it. They're not particularly well written or anything, so I'm not going to bother with those. I'll just show you some of the things it's got within it. So little highlights, I suppose. It says stone bricks, grey. I'm not sure what. They're all MDF or paper, card, in the case of this thing. Then you get some figures with it. Here's a figure of the 95th Rifles. They weren't actually in the Haye Sainte. They were down the road a bit, but they weren't far away. And some standard British infantry. You could probably work up a case for them being in there, but not entirely sure. I'm not sure what part the British artillery played in this engagement. French infantry, certainly. They were constantly attacking this farm throughout the battle. Then we also have some figures of the French Imperial General Staff. Well, they certainly weren't at the farmhouse. And the Imperial Guard artillery would have been possibly attacking the farmhouse, but they weren't. I think the cannonballs were going over their heads mostly, the defenders in the farm. And well, anyway, you get all those, some of those figures in the box with the farmhouse. And here's freehand accessories like doing a courtyard, barricades and a bonfire, sort of making the gates a little bit more realistic here. And then that's what that turns out like according to, if you do it that way. And here's the inside of it. Then doing a diorama base for it. That is my intention, is to make this a diorama. I think I will have to upgrade the building a bit. And you can see that this is there. It's not quite a diorama because the figures are based up. It's more like a sort of a skirmish game. These are all individually based figures. But it does look very good. Slightly different to mine's. This is in the instructions to line up these dormer windows with these windows, which I have done, but on here the dormer windows are a bit set to one side, so, and they're like more spaced out evenly across there. There's the Imperial General Staff, Napoleon's Mamluk. There's Napoleon himself, a couple of guard chasseurs, etc. A couple more shots of the overall diorama. Then just some useful advice, it says. Right, so that's that. Here are the instructions, which, let's just, those are the instructions there. It says PVA stroke wood glue recommended for assembly, but I would definitely say use some super glue. Like, for example, for doing these, I did them with PVA glue, and it's a bit of a nightmare because they just keep falling apart and falling over and going all wonky. Would have been much better to super glue them. but I didn't do that because he said not to, and I'd never built one of these buildings before. And here are some sort of shots of the finished buildings. This is a 28mm, not 28. I think it's 172 scale. At least the figures are anyway. Building the farmhouse, chimneys, dormer. Of course, just pause this at any point. If I just go over anything and you want to see it or read it, all the instructions down there. Now, one thing that's interesting is, for example, say here, it's explaining that the doors have a longer hinge spigot on the top. Well, it didn't really seem to work. I mean, I did glue some extra bits in to make it work. And you see how it's got here like A and C, D, part B there, and then part number 2 there, which is card and number 1. It's card, and some is card and some is MDF. And on the actual, whatever you call these, sort of big wooden sprue type thing, there are no part numbers. And a lot of these parts look very similar. You can imagine here, not particularly these ones, but these are little roof supports, internal roof supports. But there's quite a few of those. For, let's see, there's a couple more there, some more there, and there's a couple more there. Well, there's going to be 3 of those. Those are for the dormer windows. They're not numbered up or anything on that big piece of wood which they come on. And so it's very easy to get the wrong one. There are some which I'm not sure that I've found, like the supports for this roof here. I don't know where they are. I can't find them. This part, oops, let me just, oh, there's a little part that runs along there. In the instructions, this part looks completely different. It's all brick covered. Well, it isn't in reality, but I sort of went through the whole instructions and there's no other piece that uses a part like that, so I guess that's right. I'll find out later if it is or not. Anyway, this, I haven't got onto this part yet, so I've got that to do. Great big barn. Then some more outhouses. What is it called up there? Stables, part A. And that's going to look like that when it's done. It's quite a big building complex altogether. And here's some roofs. I've ordered up some tile paper, roof tile paper, to go over these roofs, because I mean, obviously this is not much good. This holes in it this way and that way. To my mind, they should have supplied, or they could have, so let's just say, maybe as an extra or something, sheets of tiles that you could cut out and cover over these this roof and these other roofs as well, with these joints. These are the joints. See if I can take that off. Put that down there. Yeah, because look, I mean, that's where all these pieces join up in there, and it's just not very good. Easy enough to cover that in paper, but let's buy some. So I've done that. It's on order, and when it arrives, I was thinking I'd just print my own out on the laser printer, and maybe I'll still do that. I found, what's my sort of build diary, sort of, what you might call it, review. These were difficult. If I could do these again, I would. And because they don't look great, so I'm going to have to sort of cover them up and tidy them up as well. But then this is meant to be a bit of a wrecked building. I did the shutters all sort of hanging to one side or the other. Again, I'm going to put this for a diorama, at least that's my plan. We'll see how that goes. I couldn't find the window part for this. Don't know where it is. Can't find it. Maybe it's there somewhere. It's card, but can't find it. Same with the roof supports for these. Can't find them. And I've looked about 10 times. So I think it's okay, but it's going to need some work to make it really stand out. It's sort of unnecessarily complicated, I'd say. Too many complex parts and no guide numbers or part numbers, whatever you want to call that, on the sprue themselves. Easy to put the gates in upside down, but not noticing that little asterisk on the instructions. Otherwise, the instructions are quite good. What else can I say about it? Definitely use super glue for some of the things, because otherwise you're sort of holding 3 different places or parts in place. And if you use PVA type glue, wood glue like this, which I am doing, then everything will fall apart when you let it go, or if you put it down. Use some super glue, just stick it in place, forget about it, it's done. Right, well, anyway, that's a little sort of build update, and I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you in a while. Okay, bye-bye. Well, back again, all finished up. I did everything. Actually, there's 1 or 2 little doorways or something that I've got to do, but pretty much everything is done. I'll show you what it looks like. Like that's the farmhouse there. You can see the front of that. The number 1 thing that strikes me about it is just how big it is. All right. It's absolutely enormous. There's quite a lot of it. It's quite complicated. I would say it took about 8 hours or something from start to finish. That's how long it took me to make it. A bit hard to lift that one up. Well, there's a window missing there. I haven't been able to find that window. I don't know where it is. So I don't know if it's missing or what, but I can always make one, I suppose. The windows are made of card. These are the card sheets. You'll see I've still got a couple of doorways to stick on, but they just go on the back. These are shutters, and that's the sort of inside of the pond. But never really need that. There's 2 sheets of that light card for details, such as the dormer windows there, you can see. And there's 11 sheets of MDF, roofs, walls, etc., gateways, things like that, heavier parts. It's quite a complicated kit, this, actually, mostly because there's things like, as I said before, there's no numbers or anything. There's numbers on the parts in the instructions, but not in the box. So say here, for example, it says S and S, right? There's 2 parts like that. Well, the real ones, actually, I can show you the ones that are, oops, let's see if I can. Here are the actual ones, super glued and such in place. Primed the top of it, ready for painting. But they don't look anything like that. Well, they sort of do. They got these bits on, but they're not triangles. They're sort of a hollow triangle. There's a few other bits like that. There was one other particular piece. Where is it? No, it's over here. Well, I can't really show you it without lifting everything up. But I put it in completely the wrong place, and so obviously that had to come off again. But it's all primed up now and ready for whatever's the next step, and that's going to be two things. It's going to be painting and sort of covering up like little gaps here and there, and it's got to do something with those dormers. They don't look right. They don't look terrible, you know, from a distance sort of thing, but not really good enough. I'm just amazed by the whole size of it though, because I was going to make a diorama out of this, but I wouldn't have the space to make a diorama out of the whole thing. So what I'm thinking is maybe some pieces like, here's the gateway, and there's little buildings. I'll show you. There's the inside of the gateway. It's got some detail on it. My priming wasn't 100%. I did this outside on a chair, and it only just fitted, so some things got a bit more primed than others. But obviously you could do quite a bit of a little diorama in there, for example. Or I don't know. Maybe I will find some place to build the whole thing, because it looks so good. As one, Haye Sainte. It reminds me of the days of the old, I say old, I think it still exists, and certainly you can get it on eBay, if not from Airfix, the old Airfix Haye Sainte battle set, which I had as a kid, like how many years ago is that? Must be getting on for 50 years ago, 40 several years ago anyway. And I thought that was wonderful at the time, and this is a sort of bigger, newer version of it. So reliving my childhood there a little bit, and why not? Yeah, if that's what you enjoy, that's what I enjoy. Anything else to say about this particular kit? I've ordered some paper sheets to redo the roof tiles, and I've looked at a whole load of videos on YouTube explaining how you can improve things, and how to paint this, how to paint that. So there's going to be a lot of painting in this, because you can see there's a lot of it. Overall, there's a few things a bit iffy about it. It's complicated, but obviously it's the first time I ever made one of these, and it looks, to me, it looks fine. Not quite finished, but it looks pretty good. So you can definitely do it. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to recommend this one, and it was very cheap for whatever reason. So it was discounted on Amazon, and you get a load of soldiers with it. And those soldiers alone are worth, let me think, about 30 quid. So that's half the price. So this cost about 30 quid. This building, I reckon. Yeah, at a guess. And it's not going to be exact, but it was discounted. So about 30 quid for this, and 30 quid for the figures, I would say. Okay, oh, by the way, I'll just say I've primed it with Army Painter, War Painter, white primer. But then halfway through, I ran out. So then I got out the Halford's car primer, a light grey. So I've got two different primers on here. I don't think it'll make any difference. Just pong a bit with all the fumes and everything. But should give it a good hard finish for whatever it is I'm going to do next. So it's a bit transparent in places, but we won't have to worry about that, because we're going to go over that with card anyway. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. It's a quite enjoyable project so far, and maybe one day I'll show you a video of me having painted it all up. Okay, well, have a good time, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget, if you'd like to like and subscribe, and do as well leave a comment if you want. Thanks very much. See you again. Bye bye.